Hey guys, welcome to Annie's Canada channel, and thank you guys so much for watching. The reason I've started this channel is because I recently moved to Canada, and I thought, like maybe many of you think, and I'll find out soon, maybe I'm the only one, maybe I'm completely ignorant, but I thought Canada and the U.S. are so close together, there can't be that big of a difference. Boy, was I wrong. And so the purpose of this channel is to share with you all those things I found that are different. And they aren't negative necessarily. Um, they may take some getting used to. But it's a beautiful country, and as is the U.S. And I just want to share with you, if you're anything like me, so you'll be prepared because I wasn't, how different Canada is in comparison to the U.S. So first, my name is Annie, and I moved here from Florida. I'm living in the province of Ontario in a medium-sized town. It's not a really small town. It's not Toronto. And also, let me clarify as well that the experiences that I've had are based solely on the province and the town and surrounding area that I'm in. If you go to a big city like Toronto, things may be different there. Um, but here and there are some pretty big towns around where I am. Um, these are the experiences that I've had. So again, I'm from Florida. I lived in Florida all my life and moved here 2 months ago to Canada. We moved up here because my father-in-law died, and we came here to be with my mother-in-law. Let's start with my first introduction to Canada was, and I'm sorry about this thing on the wall back here. It's an old house, and it's just something that's on the wall. But don't worry about it. I'm sorry if it's distracting. Anyway, my very first introduction to Canada was at the border, and I foolishly did not do any research. But after my experience, I did and found that there are lots of horror stories at the border. When I got to the border, I was so excited to be here, and I showed it. And I was very friendly, and I said, "Hi, I'm happy to be here. Came all the way from Florida." Stone face. They are all business at the border, and I understand why, but they are not friendly. So if you're expecting, when you pull up for, "Hey, welcome to Canada, great to see you," you're not going to get it. And it may be that way going back into the U.S. I haven't done that yet. But when you get to the border, and I found this out online from other people and from family, don't be too friendly or too happy or too anxious because they'll think you're up to something. So my husband and I arrived at the border without our things. Our things were coming up after us by a moving company. They had us pull over, and we went in. We went to immigration, and stone face. I told them, my father-in-law passed away, and we're here to see my mother-in-law and take care of her, and we're happy to be here and excited to see her. Stone face. Basically, when you get to the border, let them ask the questions. Only answer the questions that you're asked. Don't give more information than they're asking for, and you should be okay. But they kept us at the border for an hour, and it was not a good experience. I walked out crying. They yelled at us. They were not friendly. So it was not a very good welcome to Canada. But anyway, that's that. That was my introduction to Canada. So we get into Canada, and I'm thinking, I'm not thinking because I forgot Canada's on the metric system. So when I see a speed limit sign that says 50, I think 50. It's not 50. Up here, it's 50 kilometers per hour. So you have to, if you're coming up from the U.S., look at your speedometer, and the little numbers under the miles per hour, those are the numbers you go by. So I'm sure many of you already knew that, and I was an idiot. But I figured it out very quickly, so I wasn't that dumb. That's one of the things that are different here. And the purpose of this channel, like I said, is to share with you things that I found that are different. And this first video really is just an introduction video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. Any requests of things that you'd like to see, I'll be happy to show them to you. I'm going to go out with the camera and videotape. Videotape, such an old expression, I think. You can see I'm old. But I'm going to go out and video things and show you videos so you can see firsthand the difference in things. Here's one thing, a couple of things for this first video that I could tell you about that is different up here. When we came up here, we were excited. We've been talking. We hadn't seen my mother-in-law in 5 years. And we've been talking on the phone with her about different TV shows we watched and movies we've seen. And we've subscribed to Netflix, to Hulu, and we stream on Amazon. So we were excited to show her these things. When you come to Canada, be prepared. Hulu does not stream anything in Canada. You cannot use Hulu in Canada. Amazon, no instant streaming, no Amazon instant videos in Canada. And Netflix has a completely different library, which is much smaller than the one in the U.S. So if you have subscriptions to these things, to Hulu Plus, if you're streaming videos on Amazon and you're expecting to be able to watch them up here, don't, because you're not going to be able to. And as far as your Netflix subscription goes, you can keep it, but you're not going to get the same video library, so be prepared for that. Couple of other things. Now, this might not be for everybody, because I'm thinking as I do more research, ignorant me and my little bubble down in Florida, BC powder, a medicine that my husband and I take for headaches. It's a powder. And Goodies headache powders, BC headache powders, Excedrin. These are all things that in Florida are very common and very popular and work very well for headaches. Not here. You cannot buy BC powder, Goodies headache powders, Excedrin migraine. You basically have three options here. You have ibuprofen, Tylenol, and Aleve. That's it. There is nothing else. Now, like I said, this is my experience. If you go to Toronto, which is a big city, maybe they have things that they don't have in the big towns and cities here. And again, this is in Ontario, so but you're not going to get it. So bring it with you. You could bring up to $300 worth of stuff across the border with you, but without paying duty. But you can't if you have a headache and you take BC powder now. When you come to Canada, you're not going to be able to, so bring it with you. And if you do like we did and try to have it shipped to you, you can do so. And you can find it at a pretty reasonable price. We got 250 packs for $15. However, one big thing, if you order things online and ship to Canada, the shipping on the 15, that's $15 BC powder was $50 for a $15 order. So that's another big thing you'll see. If you order stuff online, like we were that was what we did. We ordered stuff online. Our shopping was all done on the internet. Not anymore, because the shipping is way too expensive. And there's another reason for it as well, which I'll explain in another video, because as far as debit cards go here, it's not the same as it is in the U.S. So ordering online is almost impossible. But I'll explain that to you in a later video. So, yeah, this is a channel that's going to be dedicated to showing you what I didn't know. Canada is very different from the U.S. And one of the things I'm going to share with you, and I know this isn't for everybody, and shame on me for doing so, cigarettes. When I first arrived in the country, I'm used to U.S., where you go to a convenience store, a pharmacy, a grocery store. And I know, please don't lecture me about smoking. I know it's a personal preference and I appreciate your concern. But anyway, I'm used to going to a grocery store, a pharmacy, anywhere really, and buying a pack of cigarettes. And my choice of brand was Winston. I ran out of cigarettes 2 weeks into being in Canada, and I went to a pharmacy first. You can't buy them there. You can't buy them at a grocery store. I went to a convenience store, and when I asked for Winston's, they looked at me like I was crazy. You cannot buy U.S. brand cigarettes here in Canada. You can only buy Canadian brand cigarettes, and they are very different, and I'm going to show you something. First of all, in Florida for Winston's, I paid about $6 a pack at the highest. And I know in lots of places across the U.S. they're more expensive. But up here for a pack of Canadian brand cigarettes, I paid $9. And I'm going to show you, without showing you the brand, every box, every pack of Canadian cigarettes has a cheery ad on the front. Now this is one of the more nice ads. The last pack I had a picture of a person dying from cancer on it. And every pack, they're not like the U.S. packs where they're pretty and they're nice. Every pack has a warning on it and has a picture. One has an empty cradle, warning you not to smoke when you're pregnant. Has an empty baby cradle, because obviously the baby didn't survive because of the smoking mother. They're not pretty and they make you feel bad. And I understand and I appreciate the reason behind it. They want you to quit smoking, and I'm totally cool with that. And I need to quit smoking, but the cigarettes are different. Now, if you're lucky enough, like I am, to live near a Native Canadian reservation, or in the States Native American reservation, you don't have to pay those high prices. You can get what looks like this. It's a Ziploc bag full of cigarettes, and it's a carton's worth. And for this carton of cigarettes, which taste exactly like my Winston's in the U.S., I paid $10. Now, you may not be lucky enough to live near a Native Canadian reservation, but if you are, you can get a carton of cigarettes for $10. You may not like the taste. I don't have a problem with the taste, but there's my first big thing to share with you, which was a surprise to me. You cannot buy U.S. cigarettes here in Canada. You have to buy Canadian brand and pay almost $10 a pack, or if you're lucky enough, go to the Native Canadian reservation and buy a bag for $10. So, thank you very much for watching, and if you watch this to the end, bless you. I know it's been a long video. Like I said, if you have any questions or requests, put them in the comments section, and I'll be happy to do what I can with them. So, more videos to come with Canada and the U.S. It's like I've moved to a different country, and ignorant me didn't know it was going to be so different. Lots of stuff to share with you, more videos to come. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.